Okay, it's the Conservation Commission meeting for Upton, and it is March 25th at 7:07 p.m. And our first hearing is an LGP stormwater permit, 15 North Beach Road, and construction of a single family home. Now, Mary, take it away.
Notice is hereby given in accordance with the Wetlands Protection Act and the Town Upton Stormwater Bylaw. The Upton Conservation Commission will hold the following public hearing on Wednesday, March 25th. At 7 p.m., a land disturbance permit filed by Robert Parenti for the construction of a single-family home at 15 Kiwanis Beach Road.
In here?
Okay, here, and I will try to put it up.
Okay. You have a problem with it? I already brought one of them. I am saying about the green cards, you can have something back, return offender. So this is adjacent, Bob Ferrenti on behalf of Quality. Well, we can pull it up. But we've previously been in for lot B, which is just to the south of this lot A on Kiwanis Beach. The house in front of us here is the last abutter, I think, before we get to the parking lot, the pond there. So, oh, she found it. So, might be easier on this. I don't know if anybody have you been out there, but you scaling that down, should they hear Mary? Or?
Want to zoom in a little more?
Oh, it's going. Yep. Okay, good. That's
Good.
probably what we need. Yep. So we're proposing the driveway off of Kiwanis Beach in the best spot. It's there's already kind of an opening there, and grade wise, it's the best location to access the house area. The septic system is over here. It's already approved. The septic tank, going to be in the back of the house here. You all know this is a land disturbance permit / stormwater management. I guess they go together. Because of the amount of disturbance, we're disturbing 0.96 acres. So there is a line on that drawing, Mary. It just came out a little bit light.
Oh, I see the top part here.
Yeah, I think I had it in color, purple, and then
Down.
so I could mark that up on your plan.
Oh, is
when I come
that
into the
this?
office.
The dot.
Yeah, it is there.
I see it.
And that's how I got the AutoCAD area for the 0.96 acres. So in order to comply with the zoning regulations, we've had to design this so that there's no new water going down at the Kiwanis Beach Road, which means the driveway is the most difficult thing to control the water. So I'm proposing to pitch the driveway this side and do a stone trench along the side, similar to what we did on lot B here, which is now under construction. So if the septic system is here, so that'll take the driveway drainage and filter it back in. And then the roof recharge, so Claudia is going to have to put roof gutters in to get all the recharge to go into some Caltech chambers, which I've shown a little detail up here. That'll take care of the water from the house. And then what happens is when I ran the calculations, there was still a little bit too much water coming down after the 25 and the 100-year storm. So I created a little rain garden. I didn't want to call it a detention pond because it's so shallow, but it's basically, you'll be able to cut the grass in there and you can do, maintain it fairly well. So there's just a little area, a little depression here, which will take the water, which is naturally there's a swale right in here. So fortunately that water is going to come behind the house and we'll just do the grading so that we can get it to go into this general area here, which is actually works well for the stormwater calculations. The only unfortunate thing, I can only do an 8-inch pipe because of the 2-year storm, which I'd rather do a 12-inch pipe, but I just can't make the calculations work. So they'll just have to, I think I've already advised them, to just have to keep this area clean from leaves and stuff. And if there's water sitting there, he's gonna know that he's gotta go just get the leaves out of the pipe. Um, so that area kind of works well. We're recharging the other lot on this side of the house. So it's actually, we're using this little lower area to recharge water on both lots. The house that they want to build, I think they've got a footprint in a house that they like. So we've shown a driveway. So he's got a garage, 2-car garage here and a 1-car garage here. Pavement would be this line here, the asphalt pavement. He has I think it's a 3-acre lot. It's 3.35. Yeah, we're disturbing just under an acre, which is really going to give him quite a bit of grass, lawn area, and I think everything that he needs at this point in time. I kind of zipped through your comments. Mary sent them today.
Yeah.
Was there anything critical that?
Yeah, no, I just, you don't really have too much details on the type of wattles, so just recommending, like a.
Oh, I think we went to 10-inch on the other lot. I think we went to
10
10-inch.
filter side, perfect. Yeah, that'd be great.
Okay.
And then, there's gonna be a silt fence there too. I assume that
So the
proposed
silt-
silt wattles is silt fence and wattles. Is that what you're?
I think the wattles are okay, but if you want silt fence,
Silt fence.
we can add it. We do silt fence on the other one? We might have, okay. So silt fence along here, and then we need this opening just to get the trucks in and out for this. And there's already wattles on the other lot, basically. So the water will tend to come down, the construction water will tend to come down through here. And the DPW guy, I think on the other lot, I was shown two 8-inch pipes under the driveway, and he made us do a 12-inch pipe instead.
For this one.
So we're probably gonna do a 12-inch pipe underneath that existing swale there.
Yeah, and the only other question, so does the rain garden have like any plantings in it, or are you assuming it's just gonna?
I would leave it alone, but yeah, it's really to make the stormwater calcs work. So I would prefer for them if it was just, a grass low point.
Chris, we have someone in the audience, on screen. Do you want me to?
Any butters?
Recognize?
Yes, please.
Okay. Rachel, I see you have your hand up. Do you have a question?
Question. I want to have something down on town record. Hi, I'm Rachel Kowal. I want to be on record as formally contesting the ownership of the land off of North Road, Upton, known as Forest Heights. My grandmother, Gertrude Barnacle, had a contract that reserved a specific lot for me and my family. The land was subdivided since the town took possession, and I believe this agreement still applies, and I asked for a formal review of the land.
Just at another time.
Yeah, we should take it.
Yeah, this is, we're in the middle of a public hearing about a different topic.
I really don't care. I want a formal record on note about what I'm contesting, because it doesn't seem like my words are being heard anywhere. So I want a formal note on record that I'm contesting the land on what they're doing on Forest Heights of the 107 acres that my grandmother was donating to the town as a conservation land, and how the town acquired that through back taxes, and how there was a lot subdivided for my grandmother in that.
Yeah,
And if anyone knows any land or anything about the Barnacle name, then they would know that my grandmother had great intentions of giving conservation land to Upton.
Well, it will be in our.
Is that a different location? Is that a different location?
It's a whole different.
So let's-
Different location.
That is
I
not.
don't want to make my cousin, my client.
It's been recorded as well.
Okay, yes,
I don't
This
care
is
if you
being-
guys think it's a different location. I just can't get through to anybody else, and it's been very frustrating. So I feel like I need to come on the town meeting of conservation to say, I appreciate the fact of what everybody's trying to do for this whole Forest Heights thing. But the fact that nobody wants to talk to me about it, and the fact that like it was just taken with a contingency of the fact of the rights that my grandmother had on it, and that there was, quote, a building lot on it, and that they can't get the title released for insurance purposes because my grandmother had a trust written in there saying that if the lot was subdivided, we should have had a building lot on it. I can blow the whole thing up if I want to, and I don't want to. I'm literally saying, work with me. And nobody wants to work with me. So I'm literally putting on record, nobody should be able to freaking do anything with that land right now. I'm putting on record as I contest everything in that. I have trust agreements, I have deed agreements, I have everything. My lawyer will be in touch and I will put a formal agreement in that.
Rachel, this is Chris Scott, the chairperson of the Conservation Commission. We have that on record, and there are people present at this meeting. We can talk later on, but right now we're doing a different hearing for another project.
Okay.
We do have, you want to talk to me about this, and if you can forward your information, I will get people to call you or email you or both.
Okay. Thank you for letting me be heard.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you.
My grandmother only wanted to give Upton 107 acres of conservation land. That's all she was asking for.
Well, thank you. It's appreciated.
It's been
Anything else?
disrespected.
Anything else, Rachel?
No, I just would like the town not to be as disrespectful as the fact of that they're going to get $600,000 for that land. And I'm literally saying the clause said that she should have gotten a lot out of that, which meant 200,000 maybe out of it for maybe me and my brother. Like, I mean, it's like insane. I could go through all of this and say, you guys took it over for back taxes back in the day for $4,000 of taxes.
Okay, we've got the gist of the idea. So
Yeah. Well, the anger is like really rich in me. So
and
my dad died 2 months ago. And Barnacle, if nobody knows anything, Barnacle freaking half developed half of Upton. So nobody respects any of that. So
hey, Rachel, we also respect our applicant who is making the meeting right now. So we need to give him the floor. So how about Robert? Let's go
Okay,
back
Doc,
to-
yep, back, all right. So we could add the, a silt fence detail with the waters, I guess, maybe, to the plan, or
Yes.
an 8.5 by 11
I think it
detail
would
of it
be-
if you want, whatever,
Yeah, that'd be great.
okay.
Yeah. Yes, that was my only questions. If people want to see a few pictures of the site.
Oh, yep, I did skim those too that you had,
Yeah.
pretty well wooded, not too dense to walk through, you can,
Right, so this
walk
is like
through
the
it.
house lot
it's up on top,
top.
yep,
They're gonna get a pretty good view of the lake.
oh yeah, they want a nice view of the lake.
Yeah. And then just wooded lot. There seems to be like a kind of a drainage area that's where your soil is
Yeah.
gonna go. I did check for wetland soils, did not seem to be any, there's a few wetland plants in there.
Groundwater was like 42 to 48 inches, I think, in the test pits, in the septic test pits. I didn't do those, another engineer did those.
And it is a pretty steep slope coming off the road. This is where the driveway will go, right here. As he said, this is the only spot you can. So, if this is a land disturbance permit, we don't need DEP numbers or anything. If you guys are satisfied, he went through the checklist and everything. we can, I mean, I guess the only question is if people want this peer reviewed, if there's concerns. I don't see too many concerns with this one. Then
I have one question. Is there any possibility that the people want to have full?
Oh, a pool. Yeah, there's a good question.
Oh, would they do a pool? I don't know, maybe not now. The cost is, they've hit their budget limit, I think. The
Okay.
land was, pretty expensive. So I think he has enough room for a pool. I think he has enough room with what we're, what with the disturbing the area.
The acquisition of my Graham's 107 acres was a lot of money too. So nobody respects that though. Thank you.
You muted her, Mary?
I did once already. If I remove her, that could be.
It could be.
Yeah, we don't want people speaking out of order.
Yeah.
Right, you don't completely bounce it off, but.
I apologize. I didn't realize I was off mic.
Oh, you are. So, any other questions for Barbara? Marie, anything else?
Yeah, I think we're all set. If you guys would like to approve this.
Okay, we have a motion to approve the LDP for West Road 15.
So moved. Second.
Okay, let's do a voice vote. Chris, I.
Tom, I.
Alan, I.
Sandy, I.
Mike, I.
Shannon, I.
Marcella, I.
Thank you, Nancy, all the commission present. And so Mary will get in touch with you when the paperwork is ready.
Okay. And I will get a detail to the city fence and if you want to just come in and mark up that limit of disturbance. I brought it,
Oh, I see,
So-
yeah.
so I put it, I did it on this one, so it's just, the line is very faint.
It's just very faint, yeah.
Like
Mysterious stuff.
with me, I would that's mark, if you have copies in the office. You just go right around it if you want.
No, that's fine. I see it.
Okay,
So, it's great.
all right, thank you all. Does this thing get filed now or anything? So does the land disturbance get filed or anything?
Yes,
or no?
it does get.
Get filed?
Three, yep. It needs,
Yeah. Stays with the deed.
at the end, it needs, still,
Yep.
you need to sign off. It's actually a little, the end is a little bit stricter conditions.
Okay.
Requires a little bit more work.
Yeah, that'll be listed out in the, listed out on the plan.
15, we have a request.
All right, thank you all.
1316 on the road drive. Church elevator 14 by 3. Yeah.
Notice is hereby given in accordance with the Wetlands Protection Act and the Town of Upton Stormwater Bylaw that the Upton Conservation Commission will hold the following public hearing on Wednesday, March 25th at 7:15. A request for determination of applicability filed by Queenie Lee for the construction of a 14 by 30-foot deck on an existing single-family house at 56 Shore Drive.
Okay,
Just quickly check my email. I'm sure she understood about coming to the meeting.
Willis Heights is later on the agenda, so it's a discussion item, so.
Yeah, I know. So I'll just present this project. So this is a homeowner project. They started work basically and were stopped by the building inspector because they didn't have a building. And there, it was, I asked them to file, even though it was kind of marginal because the slopes were so steep going down into the pond. And I just kind of wanted them to be aware of us, what's involved. Here's their permit form. They didn't have a very good plan without looking at this. So here's 56 Shore Drive. And so they were putting a carport here and the deck is off the back here. The edge of the deck is approximately 50 feet from the water. And here's the deck in progress. Looking at the pond from the deck. The sonotubes are already in, it's a relatively clean job. So I don't know that they don't really need any erosion controls or anything. I just really wanted them to realize that they need to they need to be aware, right?
Mary, what did it look like before?
Before the deck was
Was
there,
it grass or gravel or garden?
I think there may have been a smaller deck that they were replacing. Yeah, in looking at the aerial imagery, it's been grass for a while. I did hope that they would be here so we could talk a little bit about the edge of the pond. You know, they're maintaining kind of lawn all the way to the edge. And I was just gonna ask them to, you know, the outer 5 feet there, you can tell they've been trimming shrubs and stuff just to let that grow. So that was my main concern with this project. And there's a lot of, the site's a little bit of a mess. So this was a day after the wind, they had this carport here that blew over upside down, unended. So really, they should clean up their site a little bit because stuff could be blown into the pond. So, I guess I had hoped that they would be here so we could just kind of talk with them. But they're not here, and I don't know if we want to continue it. I can talk to her. But their building permit is on hold until they get this approved, so I can talk to her. There's a little bit of a language barrier, so.
What do you think of that one?
It's fine for Mary to talk.
However you wanna handle it, as long as they understand the importance of the situation.
Right, yeah.
If there's a language barrier, we should also have some written communications with them once we have identified all the parameters that. So that they understand what it is and it's not just a verbal order, if you will.
That's true. Right, so I'll write things down in the conditions, and maybe I could write a letter with us to.
And that way they can ask questions if they, in
Yeah.
case they need someone to interpret the language of words.
Do we
They
continue?
could have had an enforcement order, so,
Yeah, there could have been.
I'm just saying,
Yeah.
they
It's,
don't realize that.
right.
Should we continue this or close it?
I'm fine with closing it.
Any other thoughts? Okay, want to close that into a second?
Second,
Okay, let's everybody vote about closing the hearing. It's aye.
Alan,
Alan,
Sandy, I.
Micah,
Shannon, I. Marcella, I.
That's unanimous vote with the commission. And Mary, that would be great if you were a letter. That go for bid. Be explicit about leaving a little bit of the shrubs along
A short buffer. Yeah.
right, and clean up the site.
Yeah, the building's not occupied right now.
Okay. Okay, now, next we have 7:30. That's for determining applicability, Purple Grove Conservation Area, construction of a 6-foot fill boardwalk.
Okay, I gotta read the public hearing notice. Notice is hereby given in accordance with the Wetlands Protection Act and the Town of Upton Stormwater Bylaw. The Upton Conservation Commission will hold the following public hearing on Wednesday, March 25th at 7:30 p.m. A request for determination of applicability filed by Kyle Ronzio for the construction of a 96-foot trail boardwalk at Peppercorn Conservation Area.
Okay, Kyle, let me hear from you. That's great.
So, yeah, go ahead, and I'll pull your stuff up on the screen.
Hello, so my name is Kyle Ronzio. I'm with Upton Boy Scout Troop 132. We're planning to do a Eagle Scout project at Peppercorn Hill Trail, which consists of building a boardwalk over some muddy terrain to help hikers traverse the trail.
Describe how long it's gonna be or.
96.
96
Yeah,
feet.
yeah.
I missed that.
So yeah, it'll be 96 feet.
Speak up.
The boardwalk is sort of an addition to another boardwalk, which was constructed a long time ago, but a bridge that was constructed a long time ago, but recently it's become not enough, and where both ends of it have been submerged in mud and water, where an addition would be needed, and this addition would total 96 feet.
Yeah, picture.
Kyle, did you be removing any of the existing materials? Cause they look a little decrepit.
Right, so he,
So no, it's okay.
it's your project.
I had not originally planned to replace the existing bridge, as it was once another Eagle Scout project, and removing and replacing the bridge would consist of another project in general, I guess say. My original plan was to just add this addition, and I was going to potentially bring up the idea of replacing it to another member of my Boy Scout troop.
You have to replace the bridge.
Okay.
Thank you.
Somebody else is project next year.
I think it's another project. Yeah.
So you want to explain why it's so muddy and underwater?
Oh, yeah. So in recent years, beavers have actually constructed like multiple dams at such locations near this trail, which has caused water from the nearby marsh to seep into the trail and cause like a constant state of mud and puddles, which like overall from other type of experience has not been enjoyable to talk through. And after visiting the site before, there have been like attempts at like making crude pathways to avoid the mud and water, but it would be more efficient if a full-time bridge was full-time walk was constructed.
Thank you. Upton's known for beavers, lots of them. Okay, Mary, what do you have?
Are you guys still talking about, we were on the trail, we were talking about whether you're gonna do a 4 foot wide with planks, or are you thinking of possibly doing the narrower? Have you not made any decisions on that?
The plan was still to construct the 4 foot wide boardwalk to kind of match the existing one, so it would be visually appealing. While we're still deciding whether or not to do that, it's very likely that we'll continue with that plan.
I think getting the permits in order to move forward with the project would, the design, ultimate design of the boardwalk can be figured out. It can be finalized later, but obviously want to make sure we're doing everything Concom needs to happen for this to continue.
Okay, excellent. Yeah, and the state reviewed his application. I think I forwarded the email. I don't know if any of you read it. So the state had some concerns about whether or not this was work within wetland. I did go back out with my auger, and sure enough, there's wetland soil in the trail itself. And wetland plants all around it. So I think we have to conclude that the trail actually goes through wetland. And I think, the DEP is recommending a notice of intent for this. I mean, I think it's up to the board, and I should have pulled up. I think on the request for determination, you can say this activity is taking place within a resource area, but will not alter. I think that's one of the options. But the DEP might say, well, we think it's altering it. So that's what we have to kind of think about. I think there is an argument that the trail is a little bit wider than it would have to be because people are trying to get around the mud, and that by putting the boardwalk in, it's actually going to be a restoration in a sense, and so it'll improve the wetland. But
Mayor, if I could just interject, I've heard the DEP themselves make that argument about situations similar to this, that where you've got this broad path that's kind of been chewed up over the years. Going down to 2 feet or 4 feet or 3 feet, the rest of it can be considered restoration. DP and staff themselves says about that, so.
Yeah, and I'm
I
gonna,
don't know, it probably not the same person who reviewed this, because I think, let's say she's moved on to a different position. So it's not, it's a different reviewer.
right. So I think it's kind of up to the board, you know, you can go ahead and issue that negative determination. It wouldn't be a -3, because that means it's out of the resource center. I have to look at it. It would be -1 or 2, but then the
I
word.
think that'd be fine.
I think so too.
I think if you put enough wording and explanation in there, they'll understand.
I think it would be good with some better than it is.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And Tyson, I'm not even sure I agree with the interpretation that that's a wetland. I understand there are wetland soils, but
Right,
there's no vegetation.
that's true, there's no
There's
vegetation.
been a cart path here as long as I've lived in town, and probably for many decades longer than that.
Yeah, so there's certainly no shading of vegetation going on here, no.
Yeah, the boardwalk would probably allow some vegetation.
Yeah, I think it's an improvement.
Definitely
Well,
an
it-
improvement.
This might make the case for doing what we call the plank boardwalk option, which is only 2 feet wide. You know what I mean? Where you have a long,
Yeah,
16 footers with,
Or 8 footers, I think you could do it with 8
you
footers.
could have 8 footers or 6 or whatever you want to carry in, and then, but
Mile.
those are generally, you know, maybe you get like either, 12-foot wide or, 10 inch or 12 inch board, space close to that. So at most you get 2 foot
okay.
footprint. And you can make the case, the thing's much wider than that right
Yeah,
now.
I think it's at least 5 foot wide.
And so that the rest of it's restoration.
Yeah.
Also, that's easier to construct. We can, much easier. We have I don't know if you've seen it, but we have a Eagle Scout project at Sevens Farm where that was the project, was these plank boardwalk. So that, you know, we can point out how they want to go.
Okay, maybe.
More economical.
Yeah, we actually walked over one exactly
Yes.
to what you're describing. That's not far. It's a separate
Yes.
boardwalk, if you will, on the way to this location.
Yeah.
Boardwalk, would do a job.
I think it would, yes. Definitely. It would be more confident.
I have a question. There's a fair amount of bike riding that goes on.
Yeah.
Right, so I just, did that type of boardwalk work for the bicyclists or
Very well.
not very well?
It depends on their skill, I mean.
Right.
Right, right. They
There is,
never-
but Bill's got a good point, because there is a benefit for a 4-foot walk, because they're more likely to ride over that instead of riding next to it and chewing up the
And my
vegetation.
wheelchair could go.
Perfect, like that.
Yeah, and this one is definitely ramped, so a bicyclist could easily go over it.
Well, the other argument, another way to look at this is if you've got a 2 foot, well, you put it off the side. And then if it's horse traffic. Horses can walk along the side and walk. Like, kind of,
Watch traffic in that area?
essentially.
You can make houses up here.
Let's see,
I-
this is there.
I don't think that's a primary difference.
I don't think I've ever encountered horse.
I think
Yeah.
walking through the trail, I do not think it would be very like efficient to walk a horse down it. There are some narrow parts that like it would like overall not like the best for horses.
Rockies.
Yeah, Rocky Hills and narrow.
And in fact, actually, there is a boardwalk farther down there, which probably is already
Right,
impediment.
Yeah.
Well, there's another couple 4-foot wide boardwalks further down.
Yeah.
On the same trail.
But those are the long, which is wider.
You do three boards.
Kyle, how you bring your building material in?
ATV.
Yeah, I'm gonna ATV and for the larger materials and use like find efficient ways to transport it like with the rest of
Okay.
And wanna tell them about, Jeff at Angels, they're way down there.
Oh yeah, for like storage area for materials, I've talked to Mr. Doherty at the Angels Garden Center, and he has been really positive with allowing the Boy Scouts to use some of this property as a storage for some materials.
Great.
And that property would allow us to drive ATVs down the existing cart path, so we would not be damaging any of it. An ATV can follow the existing trails to that existing bridge, so.
Excellent. Any other questions? Or comments?
Well, I do want to is there a consensus which type of a boardwalk we would recommend here in terms of both utility and permitting? You give Kyle some guidance or?
I don't have anything.
Yeah.
The pros and cons to both of them.
Yeah, there are. It seems like the narrower ones might be slightly better, although it's a little harder to, maybe it's harder to bring the materials in.
I mean, is the bike really an issue, mountain bikers? If the mountain bike is not an issue, then I would think the thinner one would be fine. If it is, then the wider one would probably be better. But I'm not, I don't even, I've never been up there, so.
Some bike tracks in there.
Yeah, but a lot of bike people can ride on the 2-foot thing, a lot of them can, they wouldn't have a problem.
As long as the gap between the two boards is narrow enough that a bike tire can't get out of the gap.
Mary, the existing boardwalk with the planks that we walked over on the way in, was that only 2 feet wide? Was it?
It might have been
It's
2.5 feet, I don't know.
okay.
Yeah, but it was,
The one headed that way on this picture.
so we walked in from Angels, actually.
I have no idea where Angels is.
It's north of the
Yes.
The garden center.
We're talking south.
Tank.
That picture right there, you're looking dead south
Yeah, you
on
can
the
tell.
south.
Yeah, so I do know that we have, there's another Boy Scout project, and he I think his is probably close to 4 feet, but he had very wide and thick
Right.
boards that he used to build it. So, I mean, the boards, the lengths are probably
Are they like-
2 feet or something,
Yeah.
a foot and a half.
Are those boards, are they 10 inches wide, the standard ones?
Well, there's the 2 by 16 by 12 inches is about
Oh, it's,
10.5 inches wide,
okay,
something like that.
And I think they might have been wider than that,
all right.
so maybe 3 feet in total.
But like Stephens, I think they used the 2 by 10 by 12s there.
That's what he used to, Whitney, right? Yeah, Whitney.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I tend to think to get rid of it, to get by this wetland issue.
Mhm.
I go with narrower, and then it's also easier to construct. Use less resources, but less cost.
What are your thoughts, Kyle?
I think that both of 4 foot wide and 2 foot wide bridge or boardwalk would work. I think the 2 foot wide would definitely be a lot easier to construct, and regarding cyclists, I think that it would be sufficient, as like most cyclists would be skilled enough to be able to bike over it with ease, as well as there being another boardwalk similar to that further up the trail.
Yeah. Alan, you're a cyclist, what do you think?
I mean, I can ride on anything, but I would,
Your
it's just,
skill.
yeah, the only concern is that many people might just avoid that boardwalk by two feet is fine. If we wanna ask for 4, and then he can decide to scale it down to 2, that's fine. Also, so he retains maximum flexibility to do what he needs to do out in the field. But Mary, if you think the 4 foot's gonna give us more, with the DEP,
They're gonna look at it, I'm sure.
Yeah,
Now, there's no doubt the 2 is less.
It's less impactful.
Yeah.
yeah.
And we basically claim, or state, I think we're claiming that the path currently is about 5 feet wide.
Yeah,
You know, our restorations are 2.5 feet. No longer gonna be path anymore.
that's right.
So we restoring 2.5.
Yeah. Our restorations, our mitigation is the restoration.
Yeah.
Of course, they ask for pictures when they find them.
Oh, yeah.
And then there's a rare species issue. Do we, I
Oh,
know
yeah.
there's a rare plant involved. I don't know if that's what it's, yeah. And there's also spotted turtle, but that's, they're no longer listed.
Yeah, so,
And it's in-
and the site is, if you zoom way in on Mass Mapper, that little spot on the trail is actually 5 feet away from that triangle, you know, the drawing of the natural heritage area. So it's actually not in it, but it's extremely close. So if it's a plant, I think you'd be fine. I don't know if we need.
It's a really tiny area that can't, unlikely to be. They have, it's that small.
No, the area is actually
I've
relatively
not-
large, but
Not yet.
the trail doesn't go through it.
Okay.
At least that section of the trail does not go through it.
Okay.
We can and I don't know how, I mean, the polygon itself, how accurate is it?
I'm sure it's what's there.
It's in the bog, it must be a.
It's off.
Bog is very healthy spotted turtle.
Are we good with the 2 foot?
Yeah, we should move on.
Right.
You have to resolve the question of whether or not you're gonna file with NHESB.
I think the DEP person probably was unclear about the exact location she mentioned in
Yeah.
her email, and maybe if we specify the exact location, show that it's outside that natural heritage issue.
Yeah, so the trail itself, you can see better with the contours where the trail goes. So the trail goes, there's the dotted line, I think that's trying to be the trail, but this is where the brook comes through, right there. And the trail goes right below that bank. And so where he's working is outside of the range, but the trail does go through the range up here. I measured this, so
The yellow line is the polygon.
that's the
Oh, so
polygon.
there is something in the bog.
It's something in the bog.
And we know there's a very rare orchid in the bog. Tell anybody. Not
Yes,
say this in public, sorry.
Only recorded, Mike, it's okay.
Ignore that. Ignore that. So, you know, it's possible it's a dragonfly, because they usually don't have polygons like this for plants. Yeah.
You can look for
Don't kill it.
it. Yeah, don't kill it.
So Kyle, why we're
So,
concerned
no,
is,
so I don't think you've got a rare species.
You know-
They're trying to draw a polygon around the bog,
Trail.
you know.
the DEP could overturn what we say.
Yeah.
So we
Well, you
want to,
could, Mary, if you wanted to, you could ask Cal Heritage
What it is.
what it is.
don't tell anyone.
And then I would probably ask, well, you know, this is what we're doing, and I would say, yes, file, no. They might not, then.
Species is known to live in mud.
National Heritage is in charge of protecting endangered species. So when we have these polygon that says it somewhere in there, there's something endangered. So that's why we're concerned.
They keep it a secret.
It's a secret. Some people put like there's don't go to collect them.
Or what are we doing?
So what's the feeling of the commission? 2 or 4?
2.
2 foot?
Yeah.
Anything else?
Move forward.
Okay, good motion to approve this, filing the 2 foot boardwalk.
So moved.
Second,
Let's do, a voice vote, Chris, I.
Tom,
Alan, I.
Sandy, I.
Like,
Marcella, I.
Jim.
Is Shannon still there?
Shannon's here.
That's a majority of the conservation commission. And Mary will get back to you with when the paperwork is ready. So nice job.
thank you.
Thank you.
Where?
thanks.
Thank you very much. Appreciate your time.
You did a good job.
I
Thank
do.
you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Sorry,
job.
computer was frozen. I voted.
Okay.
I was like, press microphone.
There's the vote question.
Thanks again.
Okay, now. Yeah. 740, request for determination. 130 South Street. Price some more funds.
Right, so both of the next 2 hearings are continued.
Oh, okay.
And 130 South Street is continued to April 22nd. Did I give it a time? No, not yet.
Is that where the solar panel farm is going also? 137. No.
130 South
Subdivision.
is that.
It's a
what
four or five lot subdivision, one of which is an existing house.
I thought also there was a solar. Something.
Yeah, it's farther south.
Father.
Yeah, and we haven't received that filing yet, although I expect it probably tomorrow.
How about, those intent for 6 and 8 Grove Street? Is that
Yeah, that is continued until April 22nd.
okay?
At 7:30. So I think we need motions to continue both of them.
Okay, motion to do 130 South Street.
Moved. Second,
Let's do first, so Chris, I.
Tom,
Alan, I.
Sandy, I.
Michael.
Shannon, I.
Marcella, I.
Okay, there's a municipal of the commission to reschedule that until April 21st. And how about a notice of intent for 6 and 8 South Street? Grove Street. Second.
second,
Okay, let's, continue then till April 21st. It's I.
Tom,
Alan, I.
Sandy, I.
Michael.
Shannon, I.
Marcella, I.
Okay, municipal of the commission. And Mary will come tell us the times at the airport. And how about Kathy? What are you up to?
Oh, just, I think Mike was gonna talk about the bridge, the trail, and I think that there's something about the pumping out of
Oh, right.
Warren Brook, so I just came to
Okay.
drop off on those if anyone wanted me to. But thank you for asking.
Well, you're welcome. Do you want to jump ahead to that?
Sure, or I don't know, should I jump into pumping first and we can do this bridge with Jeff?
Yeah, so Kathy had called with a well company is withdrawing water out of Warren Brook.
Oh,
And
Whereabouts?
And you were on the road?
right next.
Oh,
Yeah,
I think
but they've
you're
been
allowed,
doing it,
right?
they've been doing it frequently, yeah.
Yeah, I think you're allowed to. It's a public water supply, right? Isn't that how it is? I'm not
Any
sure.
drought conditions, I'm not sure what it is.
Right, so I think if you look at the law, which Mike looked up, that it could be considered altering to remove water to pump. And so we could ask them to file an intent for that work. Now, if they were altering the bank, if they're getting their equipment down bank, then it would definitely be a concern. And when the water's low, when the water's high, it's still altering, it's altering the effects. So I don't know, there is a state law also, like if you're, cause I ran into this in Webster too, so it's doing it. If you're doing a ton, like if you are actually pumping a ton of water, then you need a statewide permit, but it's a lot. It was 100,000 gallons. It's a lot.
Yeah, because I know they used to do that right off of 140 on Warrenbrook.
Right.
They used to just put it over and pump it out.
Wow.
And I talked to somebody else. And I don't know the law exactly, but it was something about a public water supply and they were allowed to do that. Like, I didn't get into the weeds, but something about it's public resource or something, I don't know. But it wasn't illegal or anything.
Under the bylaw, I think it was.
Well, the bylaw?
I
town
think,
bylaw?
yeah, under our bylaw, I think.
I was
it the
talking to-
definition of activity, I think is what I said, when I pulled up. And under activity, I think you can make the case that this is an alteration if you wanted to go that far.
Cause I think water drawdowns was listed,
Or interfere, changes in flow and volumes.
changes in.
So
It
it's an ACUC, correct? Isn't that an area of critical?
is an AC.
So I have a question. Where are these people supposed to draw their water from?
Right, there is a good question.
Well, yeah,
No,
because then you can
do-
say, not here,
They're gonna
About
have somebody
places.
else's, yeah.
yeah.
Can I just give a background about the impetus of this, why I ended up calling you? Is Richardson, they did my well. I have no problems with the company.
They did my bill too.
And,
Well.
and, I talked to a guy like a year ago and I just asked him to give me a heads up, if they were coming by. And this time they've been coming with much like once a month, because they're doing a big development down at the end of Mechanic or a mid-sized development down there at Mechanic. And so I went down to talk to them and there were two guys and one was really nice and sweet. And the other guy got in my face and started screaming at me and saying, we can come as much as, literally in my face. We can do it whenever we want, call the cops. You can't do anything about it. We can, and so I decided to see if that was the case. It's,
Did you call the police?
and no, I did not. I was sick at I called the cops. I did not. I should take it on my phone and film the guy, but my brain wasn't working.
Pepper sprays.
So it was, so anyway, so that's when I started looking into it. I saw it was an ACEC and there might be a question. And, the water is public, the land is private. But, I just wanted to know if there was any recourse. I think the fire department on occasion builds its trucks, and things can't be, I think, done incremental, selectively. But, this.
Yeah, you can look, I don't know anything about the bylaw, but I'm pretty sure because I talked to a company that did hydro seeding. And they were allowed to do the same thing, the well company was. Like public access to public waterway or something, they were able to pump and fill their truck or something, and again, I don't know the law. But that was my understanding, is that they could do that. And like I said, I've seen them do that off of Route 140, with Warren Street, where Warren Brook runs under. Warren Street.
Over the years, there's been, and I've noticed an occasional truck doing that,
Yeah.
so. I've only approached them once.
And at this period of time, I don't think that could be an alteration with that brook so high.
Well, I've got what activity is defined in our bylaw regulations. It includes a bunch of things, but quote, the intercepting or diverting of ground or surface water.
That's not diverting, that's taking.
It's intercepting.
Oh,
And
it's-
so then what? Then now what?
Well, I'm just.
Oh, yeah, no, but I'm saying, what does it mean?
I'd actually, one option would be we could ask Richardson to come in and either do a request for determination for Warren Brook, or I think it'd be less damaging to take this out of Pratt Pond.
Yeah, I mean, and I believe
that
they had done that.
Warren for Warren Brook. I mean, why? Or even Taft Pond, which is near the.
I agree with
Which is near, the.
How about
South Street
Baker
is near-
Pond?
Any place that will,
Yeah.
the pond was zero, but a much larger body of water.
There's a boat ramp too.
And maybe they do.
Well, they could go down to Wildwood in the back. Yeah, there's lots of places.
Well, they're also based in Uxbridge and they're,
Yeah.
I mean, the guys parting salvo was, well, we'll show you, we'll just take it from somewhere else. And I said, well, that's great. Thank you. But, you know,
Take it.
yeah,
from
I know.
somewhere.
It was like, you know, I haven't seen them since, but I just wanted to be sort of, you know, proactive and see if there was anything. I mean, I don't like someone threatening me right outside my driveway.
No, I mean,
Yeah.
that's probably should call the police.
Yeah,
Well, I think, Conservation Commission should write a letter to Richardson and say that the employees should be nice to people who may question their activities.
I did call them, I never got called.
Yeah, I don't know that that's a purview.
No.
Not that it's,
Yeah.
I
I
wonder,
think we should.
how much water do they take?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, probably.
Big is that?
One of those, like an
Like
oil.
an oil.
Truck? That's a lot
Like
of
an oil.
water.
That's a lot of water, yeah.
That much.
I would suggest
Look at it.
next time you
I
see
wonder what
them.
kind of a filter they have on their intake, could they suck up a turtle?
No, they have it's, what I've saw, it's like a cage.
Oh, yeah.
And
You know.
maybe a small turtle.
Well, sure, I mean, you could suck
You
up
know.
a fish too for that matter, those small ones.
I would make a motion that the commission, that we ask Mary to draft a letter to Richardson. And ask them to file a request for determination for any future water withdrawals they would like to make from Upton Surface.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Can I have a question?
Yeah.
So filing the RDA, what does that mean? Does that mean they can just do it in Upton for the year, forever, for?
Well, that they could be conditioned,
Well, that's what I'm trying to.
Yeah, you could ask some questions about, okay, which surface water is the most appropriate for you to be discharging from. Be nice to butters, that kind of, but the point, we could put some parameters on what.
Yeah, I'm just curious what it would mean, that's all, if we do an item, what does it really mean?
And also, we have, if this comes up again, we can say, and they can say that, they actually have a, permission of the commission. Do whatever they do.
Now, there's
Actually, it should be more about the size of the pond or whatever that they take it from. The area, shouldn't be taking it as small streams.
Is that just because that would be convenient to where they're working? You saying?
Yeah,
They've always done it there.
Yeah, it's.
They've always done it.
Right on the bridge, just drop it.
Okay. Well, I think before you write a letter to Richardson, and I'm happy to do this, is to do some more investigation about whether or not it's specifically addressed somewhere already.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Because clearly these companies have been doing it for ages. So we can't be the first to do one thing or another. And there may be some law that says that enables them to do that already.
I did run into something, I didn't follow up, but that some Board of Health in different towns have prohibitions against using surface waters as part of the well drilling process. But Upton doesn't. I actually looked at Upton's bylaw and it's silent on this issue. Upton's Board of Health well regulation.
No, did you find any instances of other commissions?
There was one reference, but I didn't search it out. Or not commissions, but Board of Health.
No, I'm just wondering.
Commissions, no, I didn't go that, I didn't need that far. And maybe Mary could ask her through her
Yeah.
channels. Well, why don't we,
I think the letter is a good idea, I just think we should be more knowledgeable about how
Yeah.
this has been handled in the past.
I would, like modify the motion after some further research is done.
Do we have a second? After further research is done?
Second.
Okay, good. Any other discussion? Okay, let's do a voice vote. Chris, I.
Oh, my.
Ellen, I.
Sandy, I.
My time.
Shannon, I. Marcella, I.
Okay, let's vote of motion. So stay tuned.
Okay, the trail issue, Mary, can you come up? There's a couple of images. So, the one that I sent email earlier today. And the one with the new map imagery.
Did anyone get any checks on during that one?
Yeah, 3.
I'm
Add
still
one.
proud of myself.
3, right there,
Um,
back.
At least one that I found.
You want this
They're
one
very
first?
small.
Yeah, they're tiny, there's a real little one.
Yeah, we could start here, yeah, this, okay, we had a, just to back up for everybody, this is the Robertson family CR, we have a trail easement on this property. And for several years, we've been planning to put a bridge across Warren Brook, right, where Mary is indicating. And then we have CPC funds to do that. But when we put out our request for bids on the construction of the bridge we have designed, the low bid was 155, and the available funds is about 110 or so roughly. So, we have, among the options we have is to try to relocate trail to avoid the need for a bridge entirely. We can also go to town meeting and ask for more funds for the bridge. And CPC will be considering a town meeting article to add another $35,000 to funding for the bridge. But Kathy Robson has suggested, that her family might be willing to allow us to relocate a trail on her property, on their property, conservation restriction property, which would eliminate the need of the bridge. So last weekend we walked in from Fowler Street. Now, the red line here is from Tom Dodd. He had he GPSed our track, but he started it right where come up a little bit near, right there is where he turned his GPS on. So we didn't drop in from a helicopter. We started at Fowler, but we're not exactly quite sure what point we started on Fowler. And then you can see that the trail that we walked was actually on the abutter's property by a fair distance. Then there's could you also show the imagery, Mary?
There was a question about that, right? Mike?
Right. In here, it's this is near map imagery with their level 3 parcel maps, and you can see this is kind of messed up because like part of Kathy's house is not on her lot, and that's obviously not right. So we don't have a lot of confidence in. I don't personally have a lot of confidence in this property line. So what I did was I got a quote from John Savello, who's done work here before, to actually find the corner that's circled in the red oval. That's really what we need to know is where that is. The other end of that triangle is easy to delineate because we have a distance. And you can't see it on there, but there's a distance from an end of the stone wall to, yeah, you can see the stone wall there, Mary. But we've got that distance, so we can do that ourselves, or maybe even ask John to find that point, because John said he either, if he can't find some benchmarks on Fowler, which is possible, he won't be able to because they may be paved over. He would have to go into the woods to probably locate some known point, for example, like that Stonewall corner there, or Stonewall end.
And
And if he's already there, he could easily, tie a few flips along that line to help us out. And his quote for doing it was 1 day, 2 people, $1,500. So, questions?
doesn't the plan itself identify the culvert or?
It does not, unfortunately,
Not on it.
so,
But it does say that, the plan I looked at mentioned the culvert as a point.
Culverts.
Oh, you know what? It's an earlier plan.
okay,
It's not the one that was attached to the,
to the CR.
because your dad had one done earlier.
Yeah.
In fact, I think it was done to resolve this issue. Yeah.
Really?
And I think that one refers to the culvert, the
Okay,
point at the culvert.
all right.
That's what my memory was, because my parents didn't pay taxes on it. And there was a disputed boundary, there was I think 2 lots had the same boundary. And so it ended up, but I haven't seen that.
Is
Yeah.
that the culvert that's right near where we went in the woods?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
As far as I mean, when I looked at it, I don't know, that's the point, is
Yeah.
clearly the culvert,
And if that's the case, then we were on
Our property.
your property.
very likely. Or if not, we could just.
You just push it a little.
Yeah, exactly.
Interesting. So CPC is gonna have a hearing on the 15th. So we have another. There's another Concom meeting for them?
Not before then.
No.
No.
No meeting.
We meet on the 8th. Okay. So there's time, although we won't have time to get John out there. I'm just trying to think, I was hoping to have this resolved before the CPC hearing.
Well, the map that you have that shows that, I mean, would that establish it, or we still need to, would you need to still reflag it?
If that map actually shows the stream, I think we're in good shape, and we wouldn't need to do this.
And again, it's just one of the earlier plans, it's on record.
Okay.
So, so that, we probably just need to take a look at it and decide whether or not it's good enough for our purposes. And if it's not, then you can make a contingent.
Oh, that was, okay, I'll try to make a motion that, if after review of all the plans available for the Fowler Street location, it's evident that we need to have a survey to look at that point. I'm authorized to hire Judd Savello to do that work for $1,500. With the understanding we'll try to avoid it if possible, if we've already got the necessary information.
The air,
Other.
the air.
But we haven't done our administrative look yet tonight, but
Okay.
It could be a conservation fund, it could be a stewardship fund, it could be the general budget. I think we probably have enough in the general budget, so.
Do you have a second?
Second.
Yes. Chris Scott, aye.
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 Sandy, I.
Micah,
Shannon needs to be allowed back into the meeting. Something cut her off, but Marcella is aye.
Sorry, guys, I'm having so many issues today.
Okay,
thank you.
okay.
And through the chair, just one more comment. I've spoken to my mother several times about, because she owns that property, about the easement, and she is enthusiastically supportive of it. She wants to see that connected with.
Okay, great.
So it's you know, if we can do it. And I'm also very good relationship with my neighbor. So if need be, I could talk to him about.
If there's a point where we need to kind of.
But if it's on our land, it's a go. We just have to go through the legal stuff.
Excellent, thank you.
Well, what we can do is look at that plan, you set another site visit. And hopefully if that culvert shows, and we can go back out and take another look at this, and you can also mark that. The other end of the triangle, because we know the distance from the end of the wall. We can take that off. And then we try to walk the line again. And see if we can stay off of the butters. And we can maybe try to do that to if people try to schedule this weekend.
You can, I'm gonna be away Saturday, but I'll be back Sunday, but you know, people are free to track through there if they want to.
We could maybe do it Sunday. I'll put out an email.
Thank you.
Sunday being Saturday.
Yeah.
Now we have the administrative report.
Thank you, folks.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank your mom.
Thank you.
I will.
Thank you for Sunday too. That's nice.
Yeah, that's. I'm sorry, I'm trying to find my glasses case. I'll be out. Don't worry.
I mean, you're welcome to stay. It's public meeting. We take it as a public meeting. You're welcome to stay.
Well, it's very exciting.
That's okay. I wanted. I had planning board last night.
Oh.
All right, so one of my calls this week was from neighbor near 32 Milford, complaining about trash and wetland there. Thankfully, I have this person's contact information. I emailed and he says, I'm gonna clean it up, so hopefully that'll be resolved again. A representative from National Grid called, the power line project. And they are gonna access one of their poles from the community garden parking lot. And they just wanted to let us know. And
What are they doing? I forgot. They widening it or maintaining?
They're replacing some of the towers, right?
they're replacing, there's one line that they're replacing every single tower.
Oh, all right.
So it's gonna be a pretty big project.
And they're gonna drive over the trees.
Well, that was, I know, it was just, well, as I was telling them, oh, don't drive on the grass, because I was thinking, imagine they're bringing some kind of equipment in there. And then I was like, oh my gosh, the trees. So, I need to tell them, or maybe we can,
And turtles, don't forget the turtles.
right? the
Well, that would have been part of the permitting process.
Yeah. So we can, maybe we can take some flagging tape and flag the trees, don't touch.
Pretty obvious, but we want to take chances.
I know, are they in cages right
They
now?
are in some sort of, not cages, but at least some tubing.
Protector?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I tried to call them back, but our phones in town hall are really crummy. You can only see the caller ID when you're actually on the phone with them, and then it disappears. Oh, well, can't call you back.
What kind of trees are there? Like, just curious.
Fruit trees. So that's that. So Mike had me attend a meeting with CMRPC. And they are working on updating planning regulations. Maybe you know more about this, Bill, than I do. They're looking to get a grant to update regulations to improve stormwater. We also talked about eco-friendly structures such as, encouraging solar power and renewable energy. And, even they were excited about requiring people to put community gardens in on some of these new projects, mention that, or at least a garden space for local residents. So we'll see. So they're applying. So CMRPC is applying for a grant on behalf of town of Bennett, and some of it could be MVP stuff. So,
All right. Is that like the second half of a project that's already started? Because they're doing a bylaw review.
yeah, this is the bylaw review.
Okay, but they've already started that. So.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, they're getting, I guess, a grant to.
Okay.
I didn't understand it. Mike just had me on for. Just see.
Mike Antonellis,
Mike
just for the record.
Yes. Mike Antonellis.
I'm gonna start calling myself Divine. We're like, is that? Do something.
Yeah, sorry, the two
You
mics.
go with Michelle.
Will work.
Very, and with all the research for Zero Mechanic, I kind of discovered that I had made an error on the other two houses that we've already permitted there. Because Baker Pond is a pond, those houses should have had a 200-foot buffer instead of a 100-foot buffer. So we permitted those, they didn't even have to do an NOI because they were out of the 100. So we permitted those under the stormwater regulations. And I realized, oh, that should have been, and we're still looking at the bylaw in terms of whether that 10% of the riverfront area would also qualify for ponds. And I was actually talking with Art today, he's like, well, I don't see why not. Like if you define this as riverfront area, because we don't say anything in our bylaw or regs about the 10%. That's from the state law purely. So it's just a comment that I messed up there. I don't know that we need to go, the houses are half built. So it was open field. They are more than 100 feet away from the pond. And I was looking at, like, man, how many ponds are there in town that I've messed up on? I think these are the only ones. So, oh gosh, there aren't that many ponds. So just for your information, and this may come up. Art was in today, and just a quick summary is he feels that that whole area should be, that whole pond would be considered in the riverfront, would be considered riverfront. So I think he's gonna ask them to re-delineate median animal high water mark. So it means that the riverfront area, and it isn't gonna include the whole pond because of our bylaw. So it's gonna change on that project. I don't know how it's gonna. So that's the quick synopsis of that. He hasn't written a report yet.
Has he seen the DEP comments?
Yeah, he says there's no riverine characteristics whatsoever in that pond. That was his opinion. So, and that's what pushes and hit, and so the bank is not where they had put it in the middle of the kind of the edge of the vegetation, which is submerged. It's like, no, bank should be.
So the river ends.
The river will end, but because of our Upton bylaw, the riverfront area continues at 200 feet because it's pond. So.
Don't worry about that, Mary. Don't lose sleep.
Okay. And I think it's something that we might want to end up eventually clarifying in the bylaw or the regs. I don't know how many more times it's going to happen where something's on the edge of a pond. I mean, how many lots are open next to ponds? Not very many that would qualify under that. And that other one that we did, the Kiwanis Beach one, we made them stick to the 100, but they wouldn't have been able to build that house if we had kept the 200 because they wouldn't have been able to do it in 10% of that. So, just to be aware of. Okay, this is 46 Taft Street. We have a neighbor calling to complain about this. It's kind of iffy. I mean, he dug himself a little pond. I think he's trying to do stormwater maintenance. He's doing a lot of work on the property. I think he has a landscaping business, 46 Taft.
I just wondered.
I don't know that he's putting like arborvitae up along the road to screen it. He's got a lot of just disturbed area. You probably should do an administrative land disturbance permit. There are wetlands way back, but they're anywhere near the work.
Why did you make that pond?
I have no idea. The neighbors called, like, what's going on over there? I mean, he's probably was trying to patch drainage, I guess. I don't know.
He's trying to form a vernal pool.
Maybe
Practicing this bucket.
Yeah, it could be. Could be. Who knows what he's doing?
Looks like a pretty rectangular hole.
Yep. I guess there's one other picture of the site. Just
What's the black thing sitting out?
it's a little the piping or something. I'm not sure. I mean, he is doing a fair bit of work on the site. If you look at the aerial imagery, he's been, a lot of it's kind of torn up, disturbed. But
What is that? Would you do a name?
I walk on that street, so I think that person's been there 4 or 5 years, relatively new, but I don't know.
You aren't the neighbor that complained, are you?
No, it wasn't me.
Okay.
Wasn't me. This came through the building inspector, actually. Someone complained to the building.
I think,
Yes.
arborvitae.
Yeah, he planted a bunch along the road as well, so I think he's trying to screen whatever his operation is.
Last long.
What's the arborvitae?
Well, they're on top.
Years out.
Although they do have those ones that look like arborvitae, but they don't need them, they're kind of yellow to them.
Wow.
If they're regular arborvitae, they're gonna do nothing and then they'll pop up.
Lollipop tree.
At the one end of Christian Hill Road, with all the new houses, they all planted their arborvitae.
Yes.
So I thought that's quite funny.
Yeah, those arborvitae is still alive.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you guys want a letter or just.
I wonder what he's doing.
I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, it might be worth just a discussion with the person, just to
Yeah.
understand, and if it looks like he's gonna do something that's
Yeah.
out of
Yeah.
bounds, then
just like a simple letter, we noticed some activity, just so you're aware, you need
Right.
this kind of permitting if you're.
Right.
And if you have any questions,
Okay.
contact. Try to do a friendly letter.
Looked like he's coming in with the driveway and he's dug a hole to the right.
Yeah, maybe that's a
Somebody
foundation.
said with a rectangular hole and a driveway.
Yeah, maybe he's gonna put in like a pad for a garage. Could be good.
He tends to trap people.
Apple on crap.
Oh, strange. It's like the road leads right to the.
Yeah.
So you can continue to walk there.
You can't just call him up and say, hey, what's up?
Yeah, well, you know. This is good. This is corner. All right, this one, 34 Menon Street. So 32 and 30 are to the left here. They're permitted. I think the lot line maybe runs somewhere in here. And so 34 has all this stuff behind the house, but I almost wonder if maybe these guys said, hey, can we use your back yard? Or maybe the guy asked for the rocks. I don't know. All of a sudden his whole backyard is torn up. It's a relatively large amount, so I guess, I don't know whether that's, again, this came from the building inspectors. But
it's not adjacent to wetlands.
Well, the wetland is on the, it would probably be approximately 100 feet from the wetland. The wetland is on the other side of this road. And it has, there are erosion controls. They're not doing the greatest job, but they are.
No,
So I don't know that and it might qualify for our 15, probably is more than 1,500 square feet for the administrative land disturbance for this project.
what's the building inspector say happening there?
He's not sure. He's like, I don't know what they're doing, but they got their whole backyard torn up. And
Well, maybe he should go ask.
anyway,
So far, not any activity that would require a building permit.
right, nothing regarding.
I wonder if they want the rocks or stones to build a stone wall somewhere.
Yeah, it's possible they just asked the neighbor for some of that stuff.
Is that really our concern?
They would, I think the land disturbance would trigger a small administrative land disturbance permit.
That would be a good letter.
Yeah, maybe.
You can see. Okay.
We don't have a template for all these
Yes.
letters.
use your chat GPT agent.
Yes.
This thing. So,
All right, and then this is the other slide, looking the other direction. So he has got some, I would say, not major, but definitely some problems with his erosion controls. I called him, he's like, yeah, I'm on it. I'm gonna get Goddard out there on Monday, so we did. It's just not the greatest, and there's a little bit of fine silts in the wetland as a result of the poor thing. So I have talked to him, hopefully it's taken care of. Sure.
And this is the same guy who's coming in for 6-8 Grove Street, right? Did Claro?
Yes, that's the same person. Yep. Yep, it's in.
What's his name?
David Claro.
Goldman?
Claro, David.
David, CLARO.
Yeah. Yep, that's it. Yeah, I would say the erosion controls there, you put them up, but it's been a little sloppy for a while. Again, I went around after the snow melted and saw lots of trouble. This was just in the corner of Pleasant and Main Street. You may have seen this.
Yeah,
Yeah, they tried, I don't know if he actually cleaned the dirt up. I should have asked him to do that, but he at least put in a new wattle. Because the dirt it was like going into the
it's not good.
catch basin.
But he's a nice guy and he probably took care of it right away.
So they seem to at least fix that one. Orchard Street, this one's kind of a mess. I wrote an email to him. I haven't heard back from him. Nothing in the wetland because the wetland's 30 feet back, but only one. This is really bad. He just needs to renew his whole. It's really, really bad. So hopefully he gets back to me soon because this is really bad.
The wetland is only 30 feet back.
It's 30 feet back from this line. Back here, it's in there.
Oh, I was gonna say, because that's a pretty steep grade. That's what I was wondering. I thought that would be, how would you have a wetland back there? I mean, you can have a back, but I mean, from the house, how far is that from the house?
The house is close. Let's see what I have a picture. Right here, the house. Yeah, I don't think I should. I do have that picture, but it's not. So right, like 3 feet this way, they're post deck. I mean, the house is little right up.
Oh, the wetland's that close.
The wetlands. Well, they try. They smash it in. They have no backyard, so they can put a house there.
Oh, I
Yeah.
just thought I thought it was too steep of a slope.
Well, the way they graded it, I mean, it's.
That looks like all moved earth.
Oh yeah, this is all graded
yeah,
that way. It was pretty gentle before they put in the house. Your picture, right? Great.
Who's the builder?
On this one, my first name is Sam. I don't remember his name. Yeah, and
It's
this is
pretty bad.
Yeah, this is bad. So I thought I'd hear back from them soon.
Maybe we should invite these people in.
Yeah, I think this one. Yeah, this one.
Invite them all in.
Well, and the Mendon Street one. I mean, because he's supposed to be doing his fire monies and stuff. That one's almost enforcement. No, not maybe. This was worse. But then again, this one hasn't impacted the wetland. The other one is got silt in the wetland.
Yeah, this one is just a mess. It hasn't caused any problem.
Right. Not yet, because I mean, there is a little trail of silt going 5 feet on the other side of the fence. It just needs bigger. This was before that 1 inch storm on the 17th. And it was so interesting for the trail bridge. We went out there and it's like, oh, it used to be muddy on this side, and then I went 2 days later after the 1 inch rain, and then it was really muddy, but it was fine the time. Anyway, so it was interesting to see the difference 2 days later. So that's that one. Here's a successful project that has no issues. Should. Looks great. And this is 47 Main Street. They've started. Really nice job with the erosion controls. This was a little interesting. He said Lobuser said he called Goddard to have him come out and look at this actually, because this is not in the delineated wetland. And Goddard said it was not. Now I checked it. Nope, not a wetland.
Yeah. When I speak a little bit, I sent Mary an email if she saw it, but I'd like to know how Goddard came up with that their opinion.
Right.
Because there is, I actually Googled it because I want to make sure I remember this right. Federal Wetland Delineation Manual, Army Corps. One indication of wetland hydrology, which is what you need for the State Wetland Protection Act, is saturated soils for 14 days during the growing season. So that becomes, so when is the growing season? Is the growing season gone here yet?
Right.
Probably pretty soon, if it hasn't already. It's the definition of growing season is technical depth is soil is 4 degrees or higher at 1 foot down. And this is, aren't we still like in a moderate drought or something like that? Or is that all?
Yeah, and this was right next door. I don't know if you guys remember. So this house here, that's the one where they're fixing the drainage in the backyard. Okay, and the half the lawn is sphagnum moss in the backyard.
Yeah, School Street.
So this, this was an ANRAD that Dave Picard approved. So I never really looked at the wetland line on this one. But yeah, this spot looks
Suspicious.
It looks very suspicious, yeah.
Again, I think we're still, we gotta check it for still a moderate drought. It's not like you could make the case that it's super wet spring necessarily.
Bring a burrow full there.
When are these pictures taken?
So I did this on Monday. Yeah, so it was right after the rain.
Rain
Wait, 23, that was Monday.
tonight and then Friday, so.
Yeah, ask Goddard for a little bit more backup.
Yeah,
I'm
I
thinking,
mean, that's
what's
what
that?
John said. I mean, he said, oh, I got it in and yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know why, because he didn't ever tell me about that. He's just going through it on the site. So I can ask him for more details. The trees are probably, yeah.
Yeah.
Did you?
Is there any proposed? Where's the proposed development? Is it the other side of
This is gonna be part of a detention basin,
that
this area.
location?
Oh.
Interesting.
It's,
Yeah, so the development is up the hill behind us. The delineated wetland, I believe, is just over here.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, and I do actually remember standing on this lot doing that and looking in there going, I wonder why that's not included in the wetland line. But the line was approved and I think once it's approved, it's kind of hard to
Okay.
but yeah, there was more ponding here. Well, I guess this is wetland. There was ponding in the wetlands. Yeah, that was a pretty significant one there. That's pretty much it.
Well, thank you.
it's a busy.
Yeah, boy, the phone's ringing off the hook lately. Yeah.
Oh,
Snow melting.
I'll get you an assistant.
someone go there. But I thank you. You know about Barnes River.
Hello, can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Yep.
Awesome. All right, I'll start with the minutes. Did everyone get a chance to look over those?
Layla.
All right, let me try to share my screen. It's always a struggle. All right.
Can't read it from here anyway, so.
All right, were there any comments or changes on these?
Hang on, do we have a motion to accept the minutes
So moved.
as written?
Second.
Can I just, hold on, just want to see what it says about forest heights. Sure. Yeah, I think that's about accurate. I don't know. Could I ask just Lauren to check one thing, if I identified myself as a Metacomet board member when I sent out or not? I try to always do that, but I'm not sure if I did there.
Yeah, I usually do. I might have missed that. I'll put a note in.
Could you go back and check, and if I did, could you just add that? Because
Yeah.
Obviously our eventful meeting earlier.
You should also identify my common board member too. Please,
Mhm.
If you said you were,
I don't know,
yeah,
Yeah, Chris usually does.
I should. Any other comments? Okay, let's make a motion to accept them as amended.
So moved. Second.
Okay, let's do voice vote, Chris, aye.
Aye.
Alan,
Sandy, I.
okay.
Dan and I.
Marcella, I.
Betsy Manso of the commission.
Okay. And then there's one voucher and then I just have the balance sheet. I noticed a little too late in the voucher that I sent. One of the invoices ended up being in the front, so that might have looked a little odd, but it's for some testing that was done and then a garden hose attachment for the community garden, I think. Let's see if I was right. Yeah, algae analysis from Pratt Pond, and then heavy duty hose hanger. And then
How come we're paying for the allergy testing? Have we always done that?
You
Or is this the
allocated
new test?
$1,000 to water testing, Pratt Pond.
Okay.
So that's being taken from that allocation.
yeah, this will come out of the Lakes Pond Streams account.
Oh, all right.
Do you have any other questions?
No, I just didn't realize we had Lake Pond jurisdiction to it.
A motion to accept the balance sheet as presented.
So moved. Second.
Okay, that's a voice vote. Chris, aye.
Tom, I.
Alan, I.
Sandy, I.
Okay.
Shannon, I. Marcella, I.
Manso of the commission. Thank you, Lauren. And Becky, you have two things tonight.
Oh, yeah, six things to sign.
Invoices and sign.
See,
This is the land disturbance permit, one's the road. Yeah, there's two determinations, 56 shore and top. And this is just for you, Chris. Oh, that's on anything else, you gotta, yeah.
let's do it. Excellent. And here's one, thinking of it, do you know when the recording of this meeting will be available?
He's usually pretty quick, like I feel like it comes up the next day, yeah,
Okay.
possibly even tomorrow.
You could ask, just let me know when it's up, because obviously. The others are interested, gonna be interested in.
So that's all.
Other in information, we should have her come back to the meeting and.
But I think she should really write a letter
With her.
and explaining her comments and what her information was, instead of just blabbing about some stuff by not providing any supporting information.
I agree. So.
Okay, something there.
Or at least it's off in the comments.
Mention you would be.
Okay.
You don't really.
Lauren, are you all set?
If you, that's just after voice.
Okay.
That's.
Let's see. Open space.
The title search on the land donation from the family in Grafton came back clean. And the lawyer sent us a note, she sent Dennis a note saying the title's clean. Does the individual or the people or do they have a lawyer? And do they have a deed? And so on. Originally, I was gonna suggest we just use the deed, the form of deed that was created for Pixies Park, because it is very similar and has all of the stuff that we need. So I'm just gonna make sure that I'll talk to our council to be sure that I can recommend that And then I'll talk to them about whether or not they have a lawyer, want a lawyer to look at it. And whether or not they're okay with us drafting a deed, for their lawyer to look at. If there is one to look.
Excellent. Any questions or discussion? Good job, Bill. Okay, how about lane searcher for me?
Mary, could you call up the peppercorn sign?
Oh, yeah.
Sure. Oh, okay, this is the one that
This is the right one.
the vendor proposed. Okay, and then
Is there another one?
there is another one, the one I sent you
Okay.
today, yeah. So, if you go back that one, I just thought it was kind of imbalance and that the state's logo was too large, and then also anyway, but that was their first draft, and we are they did charge us like $150 or something to do the artwork because the old artwork wasn't available. I emailed it this afternoon. See if you got it.
I just assumed it was the same one. So no. That assumption looks the same. So,
Anyway, this is my artistic attempt. So I added the town's logo and centered the language. I was looking for comments. I know Alan mentioned something, and I think I agree with him that maybe we could fix this, especially the font on the bottom. It's a little hard to read. We do have another sign right below this sign, which acknowledges CPA funding. So I don't think we need to do it on this sign because there's another sign that does that. But anyway, this is the current attempt, and I was wondering what people thought about it.
It's good, Mike.
And like the color of the text, color of the background. Any thoughts on anything? We can ask for whatever they want here.
Did you ask SVT if they want to do logo?
I did not. I did think about that, but I didn't know where to put a third logo. So
What are those little marks up on the left and the right? What is that?
wheat, I think, or some kind of grain.
decoration.
Artistic
Like what?
stuff
Is
too.
it a flag or a leaf or?
I think it's a grain thing, like farm,
what?
as in farm,
Like we
grain,
A green?
wheat, or oats, or
Okay, yep.
maybe these days it should be a tulip.
Actually, if you did want to add it, I think you would create a line of, basically a line of logos up somewhere in here, put them side by side. And then put text under it.
That looks fine.
But in terms of color, I mean, right now, we want maybe like a light blue background, like kind of like an eggshell background.
What is the purpose of the sign? Like what are we trying to,
Well, we're replacing the old sign.
it's just the informational.
Yeah, and the reason the state's logo is on there, is that, one of the grant requirements is to acknowledge the state grant. This is like 15, sign's 15 years old. Anyway, I don't know. Marcella, you're our resident artist.
We have an artist on the board.
Maybe think about it.
I think this looks fine. I wouldn't do anything colorful as the background, white or eggshell, something neutral. Just keep it simple. Let's not overthink this. This looks great.
I'll send this back to them. We'll get another proof, we'll be ready to go.
Thank you, Mike. It looks like it's.
I will ask them about the font. The look on the block, see if you be a little bit less flowery there.
Less ostentatious.
Do we need to vote on this at all? Okay, how about scheduling 169 South Street, site visit for solar farm?
Yeah, this request came from Goddard. I think, they say that they intend to submit before our deadline tomorrow noon, but I haven't seen anything yet.
Is that the deadline?
Tomorrow noon, yeah, for you too, Bill.
Thank you. Appreciate the heads up.
Yeah. So do you guys want to do, this is for the solar farm, 169 South Street. They've kind of requested it. I think they want to show us some stuff. Do you guys want to do a site visit with them, this project?
Have you seen the site?
I have been on it, not recently. And I know Rick is stuck finding stuff back there. I guess it's okay for his current project. The wetlands, I don't think that side wetland had been delineated on that side yet, so I haven't wetland line or
I mean, I'd be interested in going.
Sure, we can go.
Do you guys want to schedule something during the week or on the weekend, or you don't care?
How much time does he need?
Take like,
Is
it's
it
a pretty,
an hour?
A couple hours,
maybe an hour, I think. It's a little bit.
maybe more.
I tried walking around that whole thing. It's pretty big.
Yeah, it's gonna be some acre, right?
And it takes some time.
Well, a lot of it's been mined,
Yeah, it's pretty well disturbed.
Yeah,
pretty easy to see.
I've been out there.
Yeah,
It's got some interesting features of that huge boulder,
yeah,
enormous boulder, at least there was,
yeah, I didn't see that, but there's, yeah.
and then what there was like years ago, not last time I was up, there's a little patch of phragmites
Okay.
still there.
Yeah, it is bigger.
Yeah,
Probably.
Going in the sand pit.
it is, it basically, yeah, it's a wet spot in the sand. Now, kind of go up because it's not that far from Goss Pond and that, so there's also a black spruce wetland on.
Yeah, the pond.
Try to find, it's like impenetrable thickets to even get in.
It's by the pond, right?
It's around the pond, but there's also another one that
Oh,
is on the solar farm property. So
So should we aim for like a Monday or a Thursday afternoon? Or
I mean, I won't know until the date is scheduled anyway. So,
okay,
don't.
okay, all right. Do that.
Okay, how about Earth Day cleanup? And
This is just on the thing because there's no one to do it.
Okay. Okay, how about
Want to talk about it more? But-
Centennial celebration trees?
Okay, so when I told them, oh, the Conservation Commission wants to plant trees, they're like, oh, how much money do you want? And I was like, oh. So this is like,
all of it.
How big of a
It looked
tree?
like from what you sent around, like $1,500.
We go through
Two, yeah, we did two of them, the 2-inch plus caliper. Plus planting, I think it was about 1,500.
Wow,
And they had two available.
so it's in
we
the
might
forest,
have-
right?
by other nurseries too,
Yeah,
but that's.
but based on what you sent.
Was that delivered, everything?
Pardon?
Was that delivered? Did I?
I don't know. Question. I don't-
Delivered and planted.
It wasn't planted.
You, based on what you said, I thought you said, planting was about the same as buying or something.
Typically, yeah, if you have a landscaper do it, but we could possibly have.
I like to dig holes.
He's really, really good at it. We just buried 2 cats this weekend. He dug nice holes.
One
Oh,
of, some of my best work.
It was, yes.
I thought if these are big trees, you might need you know, a
Well,
dig a piece of.
Well, yeah, so, arguably, well, not arguably, but it's entirely possible that the DPW could bring on spot.
Take a couple of
Things. Which would take.
Yeah.
5 minutes.
Yeah, one scoop.
One
Squeeze
scoop.
longer
To
to.
your, yeah,
Well, I can drive it over, so there's no trailer involved. No, it'll take longer to get back and forth.
Yeah.
And we've some very skilled.
Can you drive them now?
Me, no. Still haven't figured out what they're really called. That thing over there, you know.
Go with the 5-year-old terminology, dig-a-digs.
No, we into a industry type thing, and one of the activities there was you use the same equipment to, and it had a shovel attached to it to pick up a golf ball and move it to another place. I forget what our operator one.
Wow.
It was pretty damn good.
Yeah, well, it sounds pretty good.
Okay, so we're good there. Now, are we,
Need to get a price for a plaque. So basically, you had sent an estimate around, I should find that and give them. It's if they're willing to give us money, we want to use it, right? We'll take it.
Have we decided on a location?
I thought it was a park there,
Heritage.
yeah, Heritage Park.
I actually would propose a different spot, which would be over by Town Hall, that area on Warren Street that is sort of green, but not much going on.
Planning.
The old street, man.
Yeah, I know, see into the parking lot.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I'll walk through there. I've been watching.
I think for one, it would be nice to have it near Town Hall. It'd be kind of, celebrate Town Hall, but it's also a space that doesn't seem to be, not much is happening there.
Is it big enough for 2 big trees?
Yeah, I was gonna say, those, if in theory, if they live, they're going to be quite large.
Do they tolerate a little bit of shade? I think that's it's not completely shady, but it's a little shady.
They're more, I think, a sun
Sun.
loving plant, but they don't have to be. I mean, the more sun, the more flowering you get, stuff like that. But I'm not opposed to Marcella's, but I haven't looked at it. Maybe it'd be better to put one there and one somewhere else.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think it'd be nice if we did one at Heritage Park and one.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea, because if you
We can at least propose that.
yeah, if you can see into the future, in theory, it'll be a beautiful tree. It'd be nice to have it, town hall, people come in seeing that, especially in the spring, summer, with flower.
We should definitely talk to the historical commission about their thoughts too at Heritage Park.
Right, the selectmen may have a plan, maybe somebody with a plan.
Have a
Plant.
plan.
They're gonna make a rotary, so, there must be, other people working on stuff, so.
That's right.
I'm open to where it goes, but I like Marcella's idea.
I think it's a good idea too.
it's a good idea to also consider where the rotary will go. Okay, now, Melvin in the room, Forest Heights.
First, can I give you an update? Aside from what we heard earlier, and just that I'm speaking as a member of the Metacomet Board of Directors, now the Conservation Commissioner. There has been contact with the trustees, and there's a living trustee who Lisa Mazinski has talked to in email several times. And I believe Lisa has also talked to Rachel. And I'm sure what Lisa has said is that Rachel should, or the trustees should talk to the town because the town has to make decisions about, whether or not, for example, any compensation is due the trustee general. And, I think, also I personally, as a Mount board member, emailed the town manager and gave her an update. It was a day or two ago. I haven't heard back from her, so called her today. I'll call her tomorrow if I don't hear from her. And then probably the biggest news is today, Metacomet and SVT talked with Vanessa from the state, the DCS, the grants manager for the Forest Reserve Grant. And we explained this tether restriction issue. And we really have, sounds like we have two pathways. One is to have the trustees who hold this restriction agree to eliminate it, avoid it, or and then the second alternative is to go to town meeting and put the property under the care, custody, control of Conservation Commission and do a eminent domain taking. And to do both of those. If either one of those alternatives happen, either get this deed restriction removed, or go to town meeting, that would satisfy Vanessa.
We should plan to go to town meeting, and then if the restriction is removed, then you can, at town meeting, and then pass over.
Yeah, so the one thing we did have to do at town meeting was there'd be probably two articles, or one would be putting the property into the care, custody, control commission, and the state's requesting us to do that. And the consensus is that the select board can't do that by themselves. Needs to be town meeting vote. So that one we will have to have. But the eminent domain article is, you're right. I mean, if the restriction is resolved by then, we don't need that.
How would we get the eminent domain? How would we? I'm not sure I understand.
Well,
from my understanding,
I don't know a lot about this, but there's a process, and one of the things you need to do for eminent domain is to have town meeting. And that article has, as far as I know, it has no go. And I'll get one of the things I want to talk to the town manager about is whether or not that's on her radar. Include that in the warrant or not. Town council is the person, the entity that has actually suggested the eminent domain route, not comment or SVT. So it was their suggestion.
So do they owe taxes, or we would just
They don't-
take it
they don't-
to solve this problem?
They don't own the property. They haven't owned it since '86.
So the town has owned this.
And the town has owned it since 2019. It went from whatever entity Rachel's grandmother sold it to.
Acorn Realty Trust.
And then eventually Forest Heights acquired it.
Yeah, in between the FDIC did.
You want to finish it?
I'm sorry. I talked to Rachel as well, and she asked me to put together a package of all of the relevant information. So yes, initially, Ms. Barnacle sold it to Acorn Realty Trust. They lost it to the FDIC, and the FDIC turned around and sold it to Forest Heights Corporation. And then Forest Heights Corporation, we started the taking process in 2011, and their right to redeem was foreclosed in 2019, which is difficult taking.
Sure.
And then later, the treasurer at town, we transferred control of the parcel from the treasurer to the select board for conservation and basically just conveyance purposes.
So then what was Rachel upset over if they don't own it?
Because when Ms. Barnacle sold it to Acorn Realty, she inserted in the deed a right to a lot if the property was subdivided. And that right follow the deeds. So that right still exists. If that property is subdivided, the trust now
Right.
has a right to a lot in the subdivision. So that's,
But it's
And it
not.
has to be a planning board approved subdivision.
Okay, hasn't been any, it's not subdivided, so.
Right.
yeah, so the land is actually 3 separate parcels, but each deed transfers the parcels. So the individual parcels have not been subdivided, the properties have been subdivided. So there's been no subdivision of the existing land and land subject to the right.
Sure. Our plan that we, our survey still shows all 3 lots as sub parcels within a larger parcel. And the original restriction dates from the deed in 86. And then in 1994, there was a additional like a amendment to the deed. I'm not sure that's the right word. And one of the clauses in that amendment gave the owner of the property the right to pay the restriction over $150,000 rather than lot. Yeah, and then
Well,
If the land is subdivided.
again,
Yeah.
exactly right. If there's ever a subdivision, and that 1994 amendment or deed, whatever it is, talked a whole lot about the process. Once the planning board approves a subdivision, so many days to do this, so many days to do that. It went on for a couple
Let me
pages.
just ask clarification.
Yes.
Does the restriction say if the land is subdivided or if there is a development there, a subdevelopment there? Which, because they're 2 separate things, because you could subdivide the land, but not
Now,
Not
it
actually-
mentions.
putting a subdevelopment action.
I'll forward it to you.
Okay.
But yeah, Mike's right, there's a whole, if you can't agree on this, then you're gonna do this, and if you can't agree on that, then you're gonna. But they're all basic, it all refers to a lot in the subdivision.
Yeah, okay, all right, so that's pretty clear. So the attorney, the reason, the only thing I'm not clear about is why is the town council recommending taking it for eminent domain? What does that change?
Okay, back up slightly. We have the reason that we even care about this is, first off, I think everyone realizes that, it's never, won't be subdivision here, this deed restriction. The town council said that deed restriction is worthless.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Problem is, especially SVT's board wants clear title before they kick in 200,000.
Sure.
Metacom's board hasn't voted, but they may feel the same way. And then for this forest reserve grant, we need clear title. So we unfortunately don't have clear title with this restriction hanging out there. We tried to get title insurance from a couple different companies. And both of them would give us clear title only if this restriction was exempted. We're gonna clarify.
So
The eminent domain
And that would
is just,
That gives us clear title.
Remove
right, clear title.
just clears it up.
Clear
Clear
title.
title.
Yeah.
That's what I was wondering why we go that route. Okay, now I understand.
And then the other thing, just to kind of cap it off, is the restriction was extended. So it went 30 years from 86 to 2016, and then it was extended in 2016. Metacom's attorney and SVT's attorney were using the same person, Deb Eliason, doesn't believe that extension is valid. So that's a whole nother issue. And she thinks that it was done after 30 years. So there's all sorts of
Okay.
young
Complicated.
non-attorney, it's complicated, but it has to be resolved. And
Sure.
at minimum, we're gonna have to go town meeting for the care custody control charge.
Right.
The
And the
commission.
eminent domain is just a tool for the town to solve.
Declare the time.
Right,
Because they already have it, and I think
they have it.
if you explain that at the town meeting, it's.
Yeah.
There's no question whatsoever that the town is a problem. Any kind of a clawback clause. Has expired, has. Elapsed. It's long until gone.
Just for the minutes, Chris Scott, I'm a member of the board of Mancoma as well. Now, did Rachel have anything that was legitimate to talk about?
I don't really want to comment, yeah,
Okay.
on what she said.
Okay,
You know, yes, I just.
That's
remember
just-
that.
It was hard to follow
Need
anything.
to have our comments in writing,
Yeah,
really.
she needs to, yeah. She wants to send us a question, we can answer it.
well, if she sent it to a liar, it'll be in writing, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So as I mentioned, I sent her a package of all of the, basically public documents there.
Has she gotten it yet? Maybe.
No, I emailed it to her on Friday, Thursday, I forget. Actually, it's the same day I talked to her. She called me, she talked to the assessor first, and the assessor, said she called me. And then before I sent anything out, I wanted to understand what actions Metacomet or SVT might have taken as talked to SVT rep, Tony. And he said he had essentially already sent her the same information. But since I agreed to send it to her, I haven't done that.
And she also already talked to Lisa Winzinski.
She has, Rachel, I believe she has. And Rachel talked to Bonnie Coleman, who is the last living trustee, number 3. There was Rachel's grandmother, and her 2 siblings, her 2 children, one of which is Bonnie. And Bonnie is still alive living in Florida. And one of the things Bonnie mentioned in an email to Lisa was whether we'd actually consider naming the property. Maybe the, I guess, the town, I'm pretty sure. So,
What's the mother's?
Gertrude,
Gertrude Barnacle.
so that's just something down the road to think of.
So any other discussion about Forsyth?
No,
Okay, one thing on here, which was 6 Woodchuck Road tree removal. I got an email from the couple who had a tree fall in their yard and they wanted to know if they could remove it. And so I told them that was the policy, is to have tree conservation to give people permission. So they were happy about that. And then I suggested that maybe they put some native planting in the area, but I haven't heard back.
I did send an email.
Yeah, they were basically were asking us to send a letter to the HOA
Right.
to confirm that we're approving the removal of those trees.
Okay,
Yeah, they wanted something in writing.
okay.
They were even asking for, I thought they thought they might need a filing.
No, just they're looking for
Just want to
But
due
I
diligence.
think that, I mean, Chris's email should be enough. She's the chairperson. Or no, but
Can you give her a letter also, please?
I can do that. Okay, so
Yeah.
we're signing on it.
Good that they asked us.
I can do this.
Thank you. Do you have any other questions or comments?
Uh, That peppercorn fundraiser, just a slight update. So no silent auction, no nothing. Just
no
because-
silent auction?
because we're sponsoring it. We
Oh,
can't.
glad I didn't buy my
I know,
things.
don't
I
buy your
almost bought
stuff.
them the other
I
day.
know,
Okay, fine.
because we
That's
can't
all.
be perceived as soliciting anything, any
Yeah.
donations.
That's fine.
The boards can't.
Do you have a date for that?
So it's April 17,
Okay,
6:30. Then he'll be doing a walk on 25th. I think he said. So we met today, he's got figured out all the tech. We're just gonna suggest we print out some trail maps, people can pick up. Stuff like that, so it's pretty much. next? And then I just have one thing. So the next meeting, April 8th. I am at a conference that I'm going to try my best to virtually, to be there. I'll have the evening off so I can run the meeting. And I will be away. So Lauren's gonna be here and do this stuff. But I just hope that I have no idea what the cell service is there. I may have to do it on my phone, just.
Where's it at?
What's that?
Where's the meeting at?
It's in, where is it? It's North Shore.
Oh, it's not
too far.
Wow. Thank you.
And that's.
Okay, a motion to adjourn.
So move. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I
Thanks, Rick.